Nice to get both your feet on the floor and feel the connection to the earth through the layers underneath you. And take another breath into the center of your body. And feel the connection through your crown chakra and your breath, so that you are one beautifully heaven and earth connected being, you in the center, you in the present, in the now, nothing to do, being right here, ready to receive, being open, feeling the energy in the room, allowing each energy here to create for you a beautiful blanket of love that surrounds this family, that holds us just lightly in this moment together as one loving light.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. There are many here who have not experienced this. Not like this. You may have heard of the channeling, perhaps you have listened to it. But perhaps it's the first time you've sat and had it presented to you live. And if it is your first time, no matter who you are or how invested you are in metaphysics, your brain wants to deny it completely. It requires you to actually shift that which you would accept as normal or not. You're trained to survive. Your psyche is trained to be careful. When you step off a curb, you look down. And that which is logical in your brain takes in everything that happens to you and weighs the reality of it. Is it normal? Is it within the purview of acceptability? Should you move forward? Should you not? A man sits in a chair and channels that from beyond, and your brain spins around. It is normal. I know it. Now, there are some who sense and feel energy. And for those, a switch is turned, and they've done it so often, like a muscle that they exercise, that when they walk up to a situation, the first thing they do is sense energy instead of logic. And between the two of them and the intellect, they make a wiser decision because they know about energy. The three things together, the logic, intellect, energy, and maybe even add intuition, will push them to a place that makes sense. My partner spent the first half of his life using two of those, logic and intellect. And if you ask him to feel the energy, he would ask you where the battery was, or if you were going to stick your finger in a socket. For energy to him was that which you create to plug something in the wall. Now that is not uncommon with a great deal of humanity. And we've told you why in the past. This is not an indictment of humanity. It's logic. added to energy and intuition, that humans would do this because this is survival. If you start to open the box of possibilities and relax a little bit with what might be real, you start to acknowledge there are energies to be felt on the planet that go beyond logic and intellect. One of the ones that every human being understands is love. How do you feel when you fall in love? How do you feel when you look at your children? How do you feel about the alliance with an animal? How do some of you feel about the alliance you feel when you're with Gaia? Pure Gaia. I'm talking about the tree huggers here. And you'll know that there is something there that goes way beyond logic and intellect. This is what we speak of. If you will buy into the premise that love is an energy that is completely and totally off the scale of intellect and logic, that's a beginning. And then you have to ask yourself, if you're scientific, what is it? Why does it affect you the way it does? Now, if you're a psychologist, you'll say, well, that's just emotions. You see, emotions will screw up logic and intellect. And you got to say, that is not an answer at all. That's a symptom. What is it? Why do certain emotions carry an energy that would surpass survival? And then you get into what we are talking about. For we have said to you that what you think is God, the creative source, is the fabric of love. Love for humanity, love for a soul that is eternal, a beautiful system that goes beyond any love on the planet, from human to human, human to child, or human to animal or Gaia. And then you start the journey using logic. If this is the way it is, then could there be more? Are there other energies that you cannot see that may actually be a player in your life, in consciousness? Enter Kryon. I need those of you who can feel energy to feel it now. To sense and discern for your survival, is this real? There's an entourage around us right now, and you can't see them. So much of this entourage comes with you, not me. You come here to see this, to listen to the channeling, to weigh whether it might feel real or not, or if it's the man in the chair pretending. And at the same time, there is this. There are so many around you, filled with love for you, who can't touch you. We've said it before. They can't touch you. If you're an unbeliever, there is no judgment, but there's a sadness that you carry an entourage. Call them angels if you wish. You got to call them something, human being, because that's what you do. If I says there's an entourage of energy that goes with you, you'd say, great, what are their names and how many are there? And we'd say, there are no names and we can't count them. And you'd say, I don't believe it. They've got to be qualified. If there's somebody there, they've got to have names. I've got to be able to paint them, perhaps, at least number them. How many are there? And we'll say, yes. Some of you will have that stop your intellect. That's not possible. You're right, it isn't in 3D for your intellect. All your life, they'll walk next to you. And the sad part of it is, without free choice of you, they cannot touch you. They can't say hello. They can't tell you something is happening. You're walking into danger, or you're walking into synchronicity. You're walking down the street, about to meet the partner of your